is export marketing. Export marketing involves promotion and selling of goods and services in foreign markets, So you can do this offline and you can do this online. So, like export marketing, for instance, let's say you are targeting the country of Ghana and you have this special products that it's certified and well known that they sell more in Ghana and will be bought by people who are in the country of Ghana. How do you want to market those products right there in Ghana to create demand for your product? You can do this offline and you can also do it online. It's just like getting a newspaper to advertise that product inside it. You have some cars that whenever they want to break into Nigeria, maybe with a new brand of cars, with a new product, that is a cars like Koskaris Motors, for instance, if they want to bring in a new brand of cars into the country, you see them taking a space in business. They can be, they can be putting up that advert every day for months, just to create the kind of demand that they want. And after that, they just stop after they've built several showrooms and all that, where you can get that car easily in the country. So that's one way in which you can do it if you have the capacity or the finance for that. And sometimes it could be through radio, it could be through TV adverts, it could be through billboards and all that. And meanwhile, also you can do this online, just the way you do your social media sponsored adverts online. But in this case, now you are targeting another country. You have a target, you have a customer target in mind that you are targeting through that social media platform. So using Facebook, for instance, if you are doing a sponsored advert for that product, you are targeting people in just one country. In just one country that, oh, because I want to be exporting this product to this particular location, you are targeting just that country in your adverts alone. So that also works. So that's why I said it can be done online or offline. So for instance, let's say you are that's one of the reasons why I said the Wednesday class will really help you to know what to do and to start doing it immediately. Because after that Wednesday class, I'll give you some task of what you should start doing. Like, as you are ending it, you have to start creating accounts on several platforms to push your commodity. So for instance, let's say you want to start exporting wood logs into Vietnam. How do you want to target the Vietnam market? How do you want um, Vietnamese wood manufacturers, processors, and all that? How do you want them to know that you have woods, different kind of African woods that you can export from Nigeria, from Cameroon, from Western Africa to their own country. So this is where the concept of export marketing comes into play. So this goes beyond selling. It requires cultural adaptation, compliance, and positioning. So and when we say cultural adaptation, it means you have to understand, like, okay, how do they do things over there? What are the things that they need? Like, for instance, when we are looking at compliance, you have to have sites. There is a certification, a forestry certification that is recognized globally that, makes organizations, international companies know that, oh, the wood that you fall or these forestry products, it doesn't create like an environmental disaster from where it's coming from. It's in compliance with global standard for environmental conservation. You know, all these United Nations, SDGs, environment, green energy, green environment. So it comply with all those things. It's not something that goes like against it. So for instance, there was a time when there was an encroachment, a forest encroachment in areas like in Oyo State, in Kwara State, yes, in Kwara State. And the reason for this encroachment then was because of the charcoal that was being processed in those two states. So when we are talking about charcoal exports from Nigeria, those two states are like the foremost state, Oyo State and Kwara State. So there was a time when there was desert encroachment, forest encroachment, people were falling trees, falling trees just in the name of processing them into charcoal. But at the same time, they weren't planting any. They weren't planting any. They weren't, doing anything. They don't even understand what it means to just be falling these trees, falling, falling, falling. So it got to a particular time for you to get to where you have trees that you can even fall to process into charcoal. You have to move about 3, 4, 5 hours into the bush, far, 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 far into the bush, just to get wood that can be processed, the kind of wood that can be processed into charcoal. Because as an exporter, sometimes you might need to get to all these places for you to get like what you want to buy at the right price. So there is a certification, like an environmental certification that, now will now show the buyer over there that, oh, this forest product is not something that was done against green environment, against environmental conservation, or against, or something that damages the environment. So these are something that you might have to pay maybe an institution for, maybe an organization for to get such license. This might be something that you might have to get like a written letter with your manufacturer or your processor that process the charcoal and all that, stating that, okay, this was how it's done, this was how it is done, and it complies with every environmental law. So because later on I can remember that the government of Nigeria banned the exportation of charcoal. So that because they wanted to stop that, the way people were just falling trees, cutting down trees and processing it into charcoal. So they banned it for years. So even currently, though they've lifted the ban, but it's still restricted. The charcoal export is still restricted because of that. So if you want to, if you fall some logs of wood, for instance, and you want to export them, you want to ship them, an importer over there can now say that, okay, for compliance reasons, do you have sites? So sites is a license, is a certificate that just shows that the tree that you fall is something that is in line with conservation of the forest and environment. So, and positioning. So we said it goes beyond selling. It requires cultural adaptation, compliance, and positioning. That is how you position yourself strategically, for marketing, for buying, how you also place your brand, position your unique selling proposition, what makes you unique, what makes you special, or what makes these other importer to want to do business with you.